And that's what they want. Rather than have 3,000 small businesses, they want one Coles.
Yep.
Because that, at the end of the day, that's one chairman I have to call up and say, hey, shut this down.
Yep.
I think we see that during the COVID period. I know you guys are sick of me talking about it, but they show their hands when they do this. The devil, he shows his hands when he gets really thinks he's going to win the game. It's like chess. What he does is he's basically like, all right, we've got this. Now we can enforce all of these laws. Specifically, let's make the rules for lockdown apply to these businesses, but not those businesses. So the big businesses, they were like, yep, you can go to Bunnings, you can do this, and that, but you couldn't go to like a Mitre 10 and go to one of those corner stores that were franchise owners. And that's the problem that we've got with this, that if you're in the boys club, like these guys are not in the boys club, you know, Bashara's not in the boys club, Sam and Bisha, they're not in the boys club. And the thing with that is they can't just call up their mates at the big banks that they grew up with or went to the same school with and say, hey, what's the inside with this? Can you break your client privilege with this by telling me what's going on with this? Do you reckon you can intervene? It's a selective enforcement of the law on these guys. That's what's going on. And look, don't get me wrong, these guys are pretty eccentric, all right? But it's always the eccentric ones they go after first. It's always the crazy eyebrowed guys that they go after first. And then they go after everyone else. And that's the problem. If you don't speak up for these guys, if you don't actually support these guys, if we don't build this parallel economy, that's the problem that I see.
Can I just add, you were talking about the club. You may not be in the club, but you can have the same assets that the guys in the club have. And we have this fabulous saying that we came up with just the other day, actually, become wealthier than those who make the rules. If you can do that, then you will be essentially okay. But the problem is the rules are designed to prevent you doing that. And they, as you said, you may not be in the club, but you have access to the same wealth and the same ability to make that wealth.
If I can just take 20 seconds of your time, I apologise for interrupting this clip. If you'd like to support Turning Point Australia and what we're doing to help keep the lights on and keep the work going moving forward, please check out our website at tpaust.com.au. We've got a range of merchandise, whether it's the Make Australia Great Again hat, whether it's the other shirts that we have, or the educational maps that we have. Please go and support. If you don't want to buy any merch, that's fine. You can also support us by buying us a coffee and becoming a regular subscriber for as little as $4 a month. I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much.
The problem for the common man, I just want to jump in here. There are three problems. We have a three-tier society. We have a lower class, a middle class, and that's an extensive class. A lot of people say to me, well, what's your definition of middle class? It's basically everybody. There's the lower class, the middle class, and the wealthy class. And there's a difference between all three. And this is fundamentally the problem with the countries in the West. I mean, the boys were talking about other countries like the Middle East and some of these other countries that understand wealth and capitalism. But in Australia, we're a westernized kind of Commonwealth-style nation. Commonwealth of who? What Commonwealth exactly? And there are three classes that I think are really important to look at. The lower class is essentially a class that is clinging on to the edge of survival every day, paying bills, trying to work for an hourly rate, generally lower hourly rates. You cannot get ahead there. You're just going to tread water. The middle classes are all about comfort. They're looking to try to achieve some kind of comfort somewhere. I want to have a holiday. I want to have a house. I want to have this idea of the great Australian dream, you know, the white picket fence with the kids in the backyard while grandparents knit sweaters on a Sunday afternoon while Nana bakes scones, and sounds nice. And then you've got the wealthy class who are obsessed with dynastic and generational wealth. In other words, which assets here are going to be better for the future of my family? This is the difference between the classes, and the middle class is the one that is in the crosshairs here. That's the biggest of the classes. They don't understand. They don't understand wealth. They understand real estate. Australia's abysmal because that's all we get. And the boys and I, look, myself, you know what it's like out on socials. You get skewered. If I was to say something like, I have a fluffy cat, I would be skewered. If I said something like the sun comes up and it's warm, I would be skewered. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you say on socials. There's going to be a whole lot of people that hate you for it. And one thing I say a lot on socials, and these boys have been on socials with me and backed me up on this, is Australia's obsession with real estate will be the death of the middle class. And I'll let the boys talk about that. But this is a major driver of exactly what, going back to the start, when Sam said, I have to get into debt in order to have my position with the commercial bank.
Yeah.
He's done something unthinkable. This guy has done something ridiculous. They've moved into wealth assets. You're not meant to do that. The club can do that. You're not allowed to do that.
No, they're insane.
They actually have a list. They say, listen, is Sam Laurie on the club? Is Bishop Adair on the... No. Is the guy in the hat in the club? No. Okay, well, they're not allowed to attempt this.
Yeah.
Because there is also the inherent danger that if they get it, and they do become wealthy, which they have, then somebody else might look at them and go, hang on a minute, so you're telling me that I could become wealthy too. So now you've got 3 people, and then you've got 10, then you've got a whole, then this becomes a revolution. And the poor little boys club, who's only in that club because they are able to control things, their positions are suddenly tenuous.
Yeah.
That's why I say, if you want to become wealthier, that's why we say, become wealthier than those who make the rules. Then you're above the rules.
Absolutely. Where do you want to take it from here, gents? Because there's so much we could go into. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
Was there any other topics you wanted us to discuss?
Honestly, we need another hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, seriously. Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed this particular clip. If you want to support this show and keep the lights on and support everything we're doing at Turning Point Australia, please head to tpaust.com.au, where we've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got maps. And if you don't want to buy any merch, that's perfectly fine. If you want to just buy maybe a cup of coffee a month, for as little as $4 a month, you can help us get a small long black to actually support the show and actually keep things going. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later.